Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Fire had the lowest rated One Chicago episode of 2024. Chicago Fire is always going to be the most iconic One Chicago series. It's the one that started it all, and it continues to be the anchor piece between Chicago Med and Chicago PD in NBC's Wednesday night lineup. That doesn't mean the series is without its low points though. Despite boasting some of the most beloved episodes in One Chicago history, Chicago Fire pulled through 2024 with the franchise's lowest-rated episode of the year. While Med and PD regularly got over the 7 hump, and the latter even managed to crack a 9, Fire's worst-rated episode came in at an underwhelming 7.5 on IMDb. The episode in question was Birds of Prey. It was the third episode of Season 13, and it came on the heels of the opener, which introduced Dom Pascal, Dermot Mulroney, and the second episode, which saw the shocking exit of Severide's half-brother, Jack Damon, Michael Bradway. These were pretty significant story beats, and Birds of Prey has, well, very little by comparison. It's a standard in-between episode, in which the point is less to blow the minds of viewers with lots of story and more to push the character dynamics along. Pascal and Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, have some important interactions, but in truth, the episode feels like 15 minutes of story stretched to 45. We don't learn more about Pascal here, which is fine if we got more from the rest of the Firehouse 51 ensemble. We don't though. The episode falls into the worst tendencies of Chicago Fire, which is the desire to incorporate everybody into an episode and wind up with an episode in which nobody is able to stand out. You could argue that Pascal and Lila Novak, Jocelyn Houdin, are the standouts, but whatever appeal they bring to the table here is based on the charisma of the actors more than the writing. It has since improved, thankfully for both of them. Birds of Prey is fine, but placed in the context of the rest of the season, it feels uniquely aimless. Nothing major is gained or learned, and one could effectively skip to episode 4 without missing any real story beats. That's a problem. It's still worth watching for One Chicago fans, but we are not very surprised to learn that it is the lowest-rated episode of the season thus far. Hopefully it'll stay that way. In a surprising turn of events, Chicago Fire found itself at the center of an unexpected storm when its latest episode earned the dubious distinction of being the lowest-rated One Chicago episode of 2024. For a series that has long been celebrated for its gripping storylines, complex characters, and heart-pounding rescues, this was an unusual and unsettling milestone. The One Chicago franchise, including Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Chicago Med, has consistently dominated Wednesday night television, so what went wrong? As the news broke, fans, critics, and even cast members couldn't help but speculate on how a show with such a devoted following could stumble so noticeably. Social media platforms lit up with discussions, hashtags like #SaveChicagoFire trending on Twitter, as fans dissected the episode in question, a mid-season offering titled The Weight of the World. The episode promised high stakes and emotional drama. The teasers suggested a focus on Joe Cruz grappling with the lingering grief over Otis' death, paralleled with the introduction of a controversial storyline involving Sylvie Brett questioning her future at Firehouse 51. The premise seemed solid, offering both action and heartfelt moments. Yet when the episode aired, it left fans divided, with many feeling it didn't live up to the hype. One major point of contention was the pacing. It felt like they tried to cram too many storylines into one episode, one fan wrote on Reddit. Indeed, while Cruz's emotional journey provided some standout moments, it was overshadowed by Brett's storyline, which many fans found underdeveloped. Brett's decision to temporarily leave Firehouse 51 to pursue a new career path came out of nowhere, sparking criticism that her character arc was being rushed to accommodate behind-the-scenes changes. Another issue was the lack of cohesion among the ensemble cast. For years, Chicago Fire has thrived on its ability to balance its large cast, ensuring that every character's storyline felt interconnected. However, The Weight of the World seemed to isolate characters in their individual dramas. Kelly Severide, for instance, was noticeably absent, a glaring omission for fans who have come to expect his brooding presence to anchor even the most chaotic episodes. Taylor Kinney's unexpected hiatus from the series due to personal reasons had already been a topic of discussion earlier in the year, but his absence in this particular episode felt like the final nail in the coffin. Even the rescue sequences, usually a highlight of any Chicago Fire episode, felt lackluster. The climactic scene involved a high-rise fire that lacked the tension and emotional weight viewers have come to expect. It felt like we've seen this exact rescue before. One Twitter user lamented, pointing out that the series may be recycling scenarios without adding new layers of complexity. Critics were quick to weigh in as well. It's not uncommon for long-running shows to hit a creative slump, wrote a reviewer from TV Line. What's surprising is how uncharacteristically flat this episode felt compared to the franchise's usual standard. Another critic from The Hollywood Reporter noted that the episode's struggles might be indicative of a larger issue. The challenge of keeping a procedural drama fresh after more than a decade on air. Behind the scenes, sources hinted at possible production challenges contributing to the episode's shortcomings. The writers' strike earlier in the year had disrupted schedules across the industry, and while Chicago Fire managed to avoid major delays, it's possible that the strike's ripple effects led to a rushed production timeline. Additionally, rumors of creative disagreements among the writing team surfaced, with some suggesting that the episode's uneven tone reflected conflicting visions for the show's direction. Amid the backlash, the cast and crew remained largely silent, though David Eigenberg, who plays Christopher Herman, took to Instagram to share a heartfelt message. "Not every episode is going to be a home run, but we're so grateful for the love and support of our fans," he wrote. "We're listening, and we're committed to bringing you the best stories we can." Fans' reactions were a mix of frustration and hope. Many acknowledged that even the best shows have their off nights, while others worried that this episode might signal a larger decline in quality. "I've been watching since day one, and I'm not giving up now," one fan tweeted. "But they really need to step it up." As the dust settled, discussions turned to what Chicago Fire could do to bounce back. Some fans called for a renewed focus on the core relationships that made the show so beloved in the first place. Others suggested shaking up the formula by introducing new challenges for Firehouse 51 or bringing back fan-favorite characters for guest appearances. The idea of Otis appearing in a dream sequence or flashback gained particular traction, with many arguing that his presence could serve as a reminder of the show's emotional depth. The producers, for their part, seemed to take the criticism in stride. In a statement released shortly after the episode's airing, showrunner Andrew Newman acknowledged the feedback. "We're incredibly proud of the work our team puts into every episode, but we also recognize that there's always room for growth," she said. "The passion of our fans is what drives us, and we're committed to delivering the stories they deserve." Looking ahead, the stakes couldn't be higher for Chicago Fire. The next episode, teased as a game-changer in the season's narrative arc, will need to win back viewers who felt let down by the weight of the world. If there's one thing the series has proven over the years, it's that it knows how to rise from the ashes, literally and figuratively. Whether it's through heart-stopping rescues, poignant character moments, or unexpected twists, Chicago Fire has the tools to reclaim its place as the jewel of the One Chicago franchise. In the end, the episode's low rating might serve as a wake-up call, reminding everyone involved why they fell in love with Firehouse 51 in the first place. As fans continue to debate and dissect, one thing is certain: the fire burns brightly, and it's far from extinguished.